My name is Ray and I got a game. It's called Long Live the Queen and I saw it being played on 4chan. It looked like a lot of fun, but that was due in part to the fact that it was being played by everyone in a single thread. It's a game that lends itself really well to bad decisions, groupthink, and overanalysis. So to help with that, I've got my friend Peyton here.
4chan isn't good anymore.
And also my friend Taylor to balance things out with cold analysis.
It's not cold analysis, I just don't get so full of crap.
And in Long Live the Queen, we play the part of Elodie, a little 14-year-old girl who has the option of becoming magical, but doesn't have a friend to go back in time to stop her from doing it.
Madoka Magica has a really obvious influence on the art design.
But it is not lesbian porn.
No, it is not.
Neither was Madoka Magica.
Unless you read between the lines.
In which case, everything is porn.
Which is good or bad depending on your perspective. But anyway, let's get on to our game.
So I noticed we're not actually using the game's original soundtrack.
Nope, because on the title screen they play God Save the Queen, which, if you know YouTube, is totally forbidden. Any song in the public domain gets jumped on by at least 3 big companies. UMG, Warner Chappell, and then one other, I can't remember which.
But these balls! This means we can never do a habanero sing-along.
Well, we could, but only because we can't hit the notes correctly.
On the bright side, Long Live the Queen does not exactly have a stellar soundtrack anyway.
Nah, it's kinda bland. But anyway, jumping right in here, we can see that Elodie is explaining to her dad that her mother is dead and she never would have wanted to die.
What would make a little girl announce something like that? You'd think that it would be a given.
Maybe her mom talked about it all the time.
Actually, as we go along, we're gonna find out that Elodie is pretty much as dumb as a rock. Also, her dad, the Duke of Calories, is as apathetic as men come.
I don't think it's pronounced calories, I think it might be pronounced caloris.
Her dad is just providing a model. Yes, one day you will marry a man, and he will ignore you as this.
No, that's not true. Catherine the Great had lots of boyfriends, and she didn't get ignored.
You fool! But we are not Catherine the Great. We are Elodie.
And it seems that we are really depressed right now because our mom is dead.
This game works a little bit counterintuitively. Depression actually makes us better at certain kinds of activities instead of worse at everything. See, every week we have to take classes, and those classes make us better at certain kinds of skills. And for some reason, being really sad helps us dominate the heck out of horses, falcons, and dogs.
Maybe they can sense that you're just about to snap, and they say to themselves, you know what? I'm not gonna test this girl.
We dare to receive visit by our cousins. Yes, execute them.
Why?
Actually, if you think about it, that's pretty reasonable. I mean, in a lot of royal circles, executing everyone is probably the safest path.
Taylor, you're supposed to be here for cold analysis.
Ray, baby, that is cold. Cold, hard leadership. But seriously though, this game revolves a lot around skill checks and also on guess and check. We're not gonna have much freedom over most things.
And murder eliminates the guesswork. Yes, besides, these are nobility. Nothing but plebeians elevated by fortunate birth. It is time they were reminded. Yes.
Actually, I don't think that's gonna fly. They might be big whiny babies who always expect to get what they want, but that's because they're so freaking powerful.
Ray and Peyton, how are we gonna succeed as the boss noble if we just debase ourselves as an ascended child?
Elodie is 14 years old. We are, by definition, playing the role of an ascended child.
Okay. Alright, reality taken. Okay, but I will say this. If a bunch of nobility just sat around and said to themselves, oh, we're not really that important, we're really just big children, then they wouldn't get anything done. People would be really annoyed.
Okay, we'll try to respect that we're a little girl, just like any other little girl, only ascended to near godhood among our fellow man.
And that everyone expects us to behave as though this is a good idea.
Well, okay then, we'll focus on court manners.
If we make mistakes, no one will correct us because we are the god-chosen queen. Yes.
So no pressure.
Actually, I think that no one will correct us because they'd rather just use our weakness to destroy us.
Maybe a little pressure then?
One day we will pick up the wrong fork and then boom!
Oh crap, which fork do we use for salad? Is it the little one on the right? Or...
I think it's the one furthest on the outside.
Peyton, write this down.
No, yes. Besides, we are being accosted by Sailor Mercury.
Oh, so we are. That's weird. Apparently the Duke of Calories doesn't like the Duchess of Ursel.
I think it might be Duchess of Ursul.
What language is this based on?
Apparently the game was made by someone named Georgina, and the game company is called Hanako Games.
That doesn't narrow it down at all.
Our father has declared Sailor Mercury to be a traitor to the great nation of
Nova.
Execute Sailor Mercury!
No, she's a good guy. She's fine.
How do you know she is fine? We will never execute anyone.
Yes.
You know what always threw me about Sailor Mercury? Her power was a bubble blast, but she was the planet Mercury. That's the closest planet to the sun. It always seemed to me like her attack should have been a hot steam bath to the face that melts off your skin.
Yeah, Sailor Mars had a fire attack, but Mars is colder than Earth.
I feel like the Negaverse cronies would have been really shocked if there had been a scalding steam attack.
It'd be like if the girls worked through all the series to get the Queen Beryl, then they just shot her.
No, it's worse than a shooting, because I mean, just imagine that you're like fighting these girls, and then one of them has a magic power that just produces scalding steam.
It is the surprise that is most terrible. Either that or when your eyeballs go pop.
So we're being shown Sailor Mercury's power crystal. Apparently Elodie's supposed to have one too. Also, I think that when someone's eyeballs go pop, that's when the Negaverse says, time out, let's make some rules.
Why is it that it's always power crystals?
I don't know, for a magical girl, a piece of jewelry is pretty innocuous.
Her power should stem from a carven sandstone carving of a forgotten god. Yes.
In the hands of a 14-year-old girl, I'm pretty sure that is just asking for trouble.
Dude, forget 14-year-old girls. Worshipping elder gods makes them come through the windows at night. If you can't play an instrument well enough to put Cthulhu back to sleep, then you are screwed.
That's not necessarily true. There was a book where a guy got a silver key and he took it to go see Yoth Sothoth at the center of the universe or wherever.
That guy was a notable exception though, and normally when it turns out that you can visit the elder gods and survive, it's because you're not even human. You're actually an offspring of one of the horrible things that worship the gods.
These powers are passed on by the family. Elodie is the deep one.
Oh great, Sailor Mercury just ran out here waving a sword around at our feet.
Maybe she doesn't like your shoes.
Hold still, she says.
Execute her, yes.
No, we are the queen. We will look if we please.
Order someone else to look.
Oh, it's a snake.
She grabbed a sword to fight a snake? I mean, come on, that's like leaving a landmine to stop raccoons from getting into your trash. Peyton.
The raccoons are no match for my superior tools.
Well, they killed the snake. I'm still trying to envision how exactly this worked. Oh, and our family is pissed.
I know, did she use like a great big executioner's sword or like a little French rapier? I mean, what kind of sword are we talking here?
A garden hoe would have been more effective. Oh, and here's Elodie apologizing for the rash actions of that snake.
Normally our deadly garden snakes are so well behaved.
Sailor Mercury seems to think that was an assassination attempt, because those kind of snakes don't normally appear in your country.
Seriously? You mean to imply that somebody went through all the trouble to hunt down a non-people-friendly snake, import it all the way into our country, and then they released it in the gardens in the hope that the snake would hate government?
I am just repeating what the Sailor Scout said.
I think that maybe Sailor Mercury just doesn't know what kind of snake that really was.
Our father denies us access to the power crystal. Execute him.
I don't think the game is going to give us the option to execute our dad.
What kind of royalty game is this? Yes, fratricide is an important part of being the queen.
Well, we shouldn't start killing our family right away. We should at least wait until it's politically beneficial. Like, maybe we can do everything wrong and then when we need to blame someone.
No, yes. Murdering our father will send them a message. It will tell them we are ruthless.
You know, guys, this game may not be set in the correct political era to be killing all our family.
What? Yes. When did it become unfashionable to kill all your family?
What era are we in even? Aside from where are we? It seems like some of our family are kind of dressed in a Victorian style, but that skirt that we're wearing is clearly modern. I noticed we can train for archery, but no mention of rifles, so we must predate the Napoleonic era.
Napoleon came after Queen Victoria. If it's before firearms, we probably have to go all the way back to before Henry VIII.
No, there's no way, because these fashions do not fit into the pre-Renaissance era. This is definitely all coming from, like, I don't know, the 1700s.
How do you figure that?
Because that's like the golden age of royalty. Whenever we think of, like, princesses or whatever, that's what we think of.
See, but that's the golden age of royalty because people were becoming less reliant on the nobility. The concept of bourgeoisie had become a thing, so ordinary people were getting rich and the power had spread out. There was less incentive to kill a leader, so leaders could get more stuff done in relative safety. This as opposed to, say, like the Roman era, where if one person died, everything changed.
And here we go again with Sailor Mercury telling us more about this magical stuff. I kinda hope that being a magical girl isn't gonna somehow supersede our being queen.
Yes, I'm sure the game with no historical connections or realistic look at anything is going to shy away from your magical powers.
Actually, yeah, you should probably secure those magic powers right away and then train them all up to the maximum level.
Man, stupid frickin' made-up fantasy powers. You know, there were so many interesting things that nobility really did. Even just the people that you're dating could be interesting. You know, Catherine the Great had some really fascinating boyfriends. Some of these historical characters were really clever. They made a lot of smoke screens, they tricked people into traps.
Well, you're not playing Catherine the Great, you're playing Princess Madoka Magica.
We can't even tell if it's the right era to kill our father, yes.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say it's not the right era.
If I want to play as Elodie the Impaler, this game should let me.
Well, you can't. You're too kawaii. And maybe German or something.
Are we German? We're getting something from the city of Sedna? I don't know, Nova? It doesn't sound very German.
The maid Alice has her own portrait!
Oh, shoot. What's that mean?
Probably means she's a reoccurring character.
Oh, check it out. We got a gift from some dude. Apparently he's into us.
We are 14 years old.
I know, that sounds like just the right age to wear a gift from an older man.
But if we get married, we will lose all our powers.
Peyton, this is politics. We'll just marry for the benefits. If it gets out of hand, then we'll just kill the guy.
Okay, I like this plan. Yes.
I don't think the game is gonna give you the option to kill your husband.
Woozedian did it.
I'm not saying Woozedian didn't do it, I'm just saying that this game is probably not designed so that you can kill your husband and father.
Oh, whatever, it's not like we trained our poison skill anyway.
We should raise our poison skill, and poison everyone, just as King Mithridates.
That was during the Roman era when everyone was killing everyone else.
Well, what is this game gonna gonna let us do?
See, that's the catch. You just raise a skill, and if the game is pre-programmed to let you use that skill at that particular time, you get more options. You don't get to tell the game what you're gonna do. The game tells you what you can do based on what you know.
We will never kill our loved ones this way.
Yikes. That is one thing that I wish this game would do a little bit better so far. We don't have very high skills in anything yet, but the game should really make it seem like Elodie is trying to come up with creative solutions. Like, I mean, the game just does a skill check, and if you fail, you fail. It's not like Elodie gets the choice to try and do something clever. It's all about crystallized knowledge, like what does Elodie know right now? Can she do something that she read about?
I don't know. I think the game is probably better thought of as being like one of those choose-your-own-adventure books, only with skill points. I mean, a lot of times with those books, you wouldn't do the things that the characters do, but they just give you the option, like, do you use your shield or do you use a sword? And if you choose the wrong one, then you get killed.
Oh, looks like our teacher is occupied with the priestess.
Is that illegal? What kind of priestess are they? This is heresy. Yes.
Well, I guess that maybe your god must be really open-minded about this kind of thing.
See, again, what culture and time period is this based on?
What do you have against it?
Nothing, I don't have anything against it, I just would really like to have some kind of frame of reference.
See, I think at a point where the game clumsily weaves lesbians into a story about being a queen, there really is no point of reference. You're just along for the ride, and this is what it is. In fact, I think there are at least 3 different lesbian endings for this game.
What, where Elodie the Impaler becomes lesbians?
No, where just regular Elodie becomes a lesbian. You can't be Elodie the Impaler, she will not kill her father.
We have 3 different endings to become a lesbian, yes, but we don't have a single ending to be Elodie the Impaler?
Yes, Peyton, don't spit on me, crap.
What?
I guess they're just trying to be progressive or something.
No, it is not progressive. The game is not about Elodie grappling with her sexuality. The game is about Elodie becoming the leader of Nova. Yes? So therefore, the game should have 3 endings focusing on how much violence you applied to your ascension. In the scheme of dark rulership, the lives you kill are more important than the many people you boing along the way. Alexander the Great was extraordinarily gay, but for him, this was a footnote.
Okay, fine. It just is what it is, alright? The lesbian thing is really focused on your ability to kill your family members, not quite as much.
We bumped into a maid.
Can we lesbian her?
Yes.
Kill her!
I'm just gonna accept her apology.
Do not pursue the lesbian relationships. I will not be a sideshow.
I guess that one man's kind of progression is sort of another man's insult.
Yeah, that's the thing about, look, I know it's sensitive, but just let's maybe get into less sensitive. You know, before we were talking about Lovecraft monsters, and elder gods and stuff.
You do not have to feel guilty.
I know, I'm just saying, a different topic.
Okay, Lovecraft. So basically, those people who don't know, Lovecraft is like the J.R.R. Tolkien to horror. Where Tolkien has influenced a lot of how we think about fantasy, Lovecraft has changed the way that we think about horror and the occult. In fact, he's so pervasive that most people now borrow from his ideas without even realizing.
They have also made adorable plush animals of his timeless horrors.
Yes, they have. And even if you haven't read Lovecraft, you've probably seen stuff that he's been involved with. For example, Lovecraft was real close friends with the original writer for Conan the Barbarian, so you may not realize it, but the action-adventure genre has been influenced by him too.
So although it may seem strange at first to try to connect Lovecraft to a game like this, sometimes it fits.
Oh, and it looks like we've got a guy here who is explicitly describing the invention of the printing press.
Well, that puts us somewhere between the year 1000 and the year 14,000. More specifically, the metal printing press came around 14,000.
Okay, so Henry VIII.
Aw, that is when they divorce wives instead of murdering them.
Well, the 14-year-old girl doesn't get it, so missed opportunity. Sorry, society. Anyway, this series should be about 4 parts long, so here seems like a good time to stop the first part. Thanks for playing with us, everybody.